All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Anime Sub. This is episode number 7 of Anime Sub. As far as news goes, I don't have a lot to talk about. I know that Hell's Paradise second season has come out. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I still have not decided yet. But, yeah. We have 2 anime lined up for you today that I am excited to talk to you about. One I really enjoyed, and one... Well, we'll get into that when we get there. Right now, I just want to let you know that I've got some stuff on my watch list I'm going to put out there for you guys so that maybe you can keep up with what I'm watching. Obviously, I'm still watching Cat's Eye. But also, You Can't Be in a Rom-Com with Your Childhood Friends is a anime that it's still airing episodes. I'm probably going to start it next. I'm also looking at starting an anime called Kaya-chan Isn't Scary. Looks interesting as well. And then another one that I was considering starting, Dark Moon, The Blood Altar. Let me know if you guys have seen any of those. If you think that, no, Tyler, don't do it, don't watch that. Or, yes, Tyler, peek, check it out. You'll love it. Blah, 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 blah. My cat's meowing at me. But I want to go ahead and start off on a positive note today and get to talking about the show Senyu. Now, this is a comedy, action, low-key adventure anime from 2013. This was a Star recommendation, by the way. Star always brings me the most peakest of peak. And Senyu is no different. This anime was incredibly funny. I had a blast watching this one. It was incredibly easy to get through because these are 6-minute episodes. Very short length, very easy to consume, very easy to make your way through. And it's an anime where I could not skip the intro because the intro always had some kind of delightful, hilarious bit going on with it. So I was always tuning into the intro to see. They would change the animation style. Sometimes it would get reduced to like abstract circles because they would joke about the budget being cut. The narrator would often break character and talk about how he's hungry and he better get paid for this and blah blah blah, and the main character would yell at him telling him to finish it's a very funny gag, and you should definitely check it out. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking in this show. One of my favorite jokes comes towards the 8th episode, I want to say, or somewhere around there, where they're playing. I'm gonna give no context here, you just have to go, you're just gonna have to go with it. They're in a prison cell and they're playing dodgeball in the prison cell. And the guy's like, why are you playing dodgeball? And one of the characters goes, oh, you say dodgeball like dodgeball. We say it like dodgeball. In the subtitles, there's a hyphen between dodgeball. There's a hyphen between dodge and ball for when they say it. And it's just one word, dodgeball, whenever he says it. And he's like, you don't say a hyphen. You're not saying anything differently. A hyphen's not audible. That was so funny. That was probably one of my favorite jokes in the show. Throughout, they just have some really good ones. I think that this show really leans into its kind of nonsensical nature in a way that's very easy to get into. Like, it's very easy to start this anime and get into the world. And it's also just so funny. It's incredibly funny. And it's funny the whole way through. Now, keep in mind, once again, these are 6-minute episodes, so they are incredibly short. Not a lot of time to work with narratively, but they squeeze in narrative bits here and there. I've seen a lot of people complaining about this anime that there's no real narrative through line, and I don't feel like I watched the same show as some of these people did, because there's a very clear narrative through line going on throughout the season, and it leads all the way up into the final episode. I haven't started the second season, I will admit to that. I have not watched the second season. This is just a review of the first season. Have not seen past that. Should probably... Sorry, that was my cat. You scared the shit out of me, Rumi. Anyways, have not seen the second season. Do want to check it out at some point, but have not seen it yet. Loved the first season. Thought this show was incredibly funny. Loved the animation. They do a lot of gags with the animation in the show as well. Not just in the intro, but also throughout the show they will use animation. Sometimes they'll reduce animation down to like stick figures and animate someone falling with using the stick figure format, and they'll work it into the fully drawn universe of the show too. So it's incredibly funny. It's very well done. I think the comedy works here, and even some of the stuff that I think maybe hasn't aged as well as some of the other jokes, it's still pretty good. And I think it works. I'm skirting around talking about the pedophile character in this show, who is a pedophile, and it's played up for comedy. But I'm going to come out and say it. I think the pedophile character works here. I got to be honest. I think he's funny. I think Rodolfo is hilarious. His introduction is fantastic, and I think that the way that they work him in throughout the season, how he keeps running into these, they're also mocking the 500-year-old child-looking character throughout the show. So he'll see one of the childlike characters and be like, "No, I can't slay this beautiful young," and then they'll be like, "Yeah, she's 500 years old," and he's like, "Oh, well, never mind, fuck it, let's do this." So I don't know. The show is ridiculously funny, and it kind of pushes some boundaries here and there. There's some stuff that he goes to jail the first time for what he does to the Demon King. I'm just gonna say that, and people who have watched the show know what I'm talking about. And I think it's a case of a joke in that style actually being done really well, being done in a way that I don't think is offensive or comes off weird or creepy or fetishistic or anything like that. I think that it actually works in a way that made me go, wow, I'm still really enjoying this show despite the fact that it is kind of pushing some boundaries here and there. So Senyu was incredibly fun. I had a lot of fun watching it. Star told me that I would like this show, and Star was absolutely right. Star knows my taste. And yeah, the moment I got into it, from the first episode, I kind of knew that this was fire. I knew that it was fire immediately. I had a great time watching it. I think do I recommend Senyu? Yes. You should check this show out. It's incredibly fun. It's bite-sized. I think it's only 2 seasons. 2 12-episode seasons. All the episodes are about 6 minutes long. And it's just very easy to consume, which is great. I think that it being as short as it is works in its favor, actually, because I'm really tired of the 20-minute anime. I'm tired of the 20 to 25-minute anime. Give me more 6 to 10-minute animes. I'm fine with this bite-sized thing. If you know more short-style animes, feel free to recommend those in the comments, because I really enjoyed Senyu. I think you'll enjoy it too. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So check out Senyu if you haven't. And I'm going to watch the second season. I will report back after I watch the second season. But I've got my expectations set pretty high for the second season. So I'm looking forward to that. However, in the middle of this episode, I'm going to do a little special thing here in my Discord. Which, if you want to join the Discord, go to my Twitch and look for the thing. I from time to time I will ask my I'll ask my Discord, what is y'all's favorite anime tropes? Or I'll ask them various questions. This week, I asked them what your favorite anime tropes are. And I've got some answers here. So I'm going to read over them now and respond to them. And then after that, we'll get into Slayers. So, first up is Smiley. The over-explaining of every minute detail every time, whether it is about a mundane activity like cooking or hyperactivity like sports or fantasy shonen. Doesn't matter what the anime is about, there will be over-the-top explanations of everything at any moment, and I'm all for it. I really love this aspect of Yuru Camp. I don't know if you've seen that, Smiley, but Yuru Camp is very similar in that regard, except it's all about camping. And they over-explain every single detail. They go over these kind of camping recipes, and it's an incredibly fun anime. I should talk about Yuru Camp one day. I should watch more Yuru Camp. I've only watched the first season of that one as well. And then I needed a slice of life at the time, which is kind of what brought me to watching Yuru Camp. So you should definitely check out Yuru Camp if you get the chance. Really great slice of life anime. I agree, Smiley. I also enjoy the over-explanation of things. It kind of helps me get into a subject, Kind of helps me learn about things that maybe I didn't know a whole lot about, or it just teaches me about an in-world thing. So I agree. Next up, AV Antics. Drop some knowledge in here. Let's see what they have to say. Sort of similar to Smiley, but a bit more of a specific subset. But when a character shouts out their attack as they do it, you would really enjoy Slayers in that sense. They do that a lot in Slayers. I don't recommend Slayers on the whole, but they do that quite a lot. It is incredibly funny to watch people be like, fireball. That's a very Slayers specific one, but we'll talk about Slayers here in a little bit. Hammy said Truck-chan, and just what else do we expect from Hammy? Hammy's always going to talk about what do you call it? Hammy's always going to bring up the isekai any chance that they get. So, yeah. And then Smiley kind of brought up one that they hate, actually. So we're going to lean a little bit more into a different one here. And they say, I'm hijacking to say my most hated anime trope is when two characters who are obviously in love with each other just don't fucking date and are like, oh, but we're only friends. Fucking get a grip. It's so obvious you like him. Or when the girl is practically throwing herself at the guy, and the guy is just like, wow, she's a good friend doing all this for me. Like, get a fucking brain, dipshit. Think about it. Yeah, I agree. I agree entirely. I think it's super annoying, and it's maybe kind of what leads to me avoiding a lot of this kind of high school romance anime, because I feel like a lot of it is just that. A lot of it is just them being like, oh, will we get together? Will we, won't we? And then the show ends when they get together, and it's like, wait, no, dude, I wanna see the outcome here. I want to see them have a loving relationship after this. I want to see if things go wrong. Does he cheat on her? Does she cheat on him? I want to know what happens after the anime ends and they finally got together. It's not like my missionary objective was for them to get together. That was like a sub-objective to seeing the relationship afterwards. I want to continue to develop that. I want to see more. Like, what are we talking about here? So, yeah, I agree. I also am quite annoyed by when when it's very obvious that a couple should just get together and they're like dancing around it the whole anime. They dance around it for like 10 episodes and you're like, dude, just get together. What are we doing? Yeah, I agree entirely. And that kind of ends this little segment where we talked to my Discord for a little bit. Thank you so much, everyone who submitted in the Discord. I will be asking you for future things. I'm actually planning on letting my Discord decide one of the animes that I watch in the coming days. So we will get that worked out. Yeah. Okay, cool. I addressed all the stuff in the Discord, caught up on that now, and I'm ready to talk about Slayers. Chat, watchers, people who watch this show. Slayers is a 1995 adventure fantasy comedy. If you've watched Slayers, you know what I'm talking about, and I gotta tell y'all, I was so disappointed by like the second half of this show. When the show started, I was having so much fun. Lena is a very fun character. I think Lena is kind of the thing that stays good throughout the show. I think Lena's awesome. I think she's voice acted really well. I think she's one of the only characters that's voice acted kind of well in this show. Yeah, man, I started this one and I had high hopes. It had that style of animation that I love. It had cell animation. It was a mid-90s anime. Also, I will say, I'll give this show this. If there was ever a show that was going to encapsulate what it's like to kind of play in a D&D campaign, this is the show. This show perfectly encapsulates what a D&D campaign is like. Because, yeah, there's an overarching threat the entire time. But also, this group goes on so many different side quests, and sometimes they end up separated, and people have their own solo arcs. And, yeah, this anime perfectly encapsulates what a D&D campaign is like. If that's what you're looking for, you will get that out of this anime. My problem comes from the fact that while this anime is funny, there are some good jokes in here. I think there's some really good jokes. I think a lot of the deadpan stuff that Gori does throughout the show is fun. And I think Lena kind of overreacting to everything is very fun as well. There are some good jokes. One of my favorite bits, spoilers for Slayers, by the way, one of my favorite bits is there's an entire episode where the male character, Gaori, has to dress up as a female, and he entices, I think, the ship captain. I can't quite remember exactly what the guy's role was, but he entices this guy. He's super into him, and by the end of the episode, Gaori takes off his outfit. He's like, fuck this, I'm going to reveal that I'm a man. And the dude's like, oh, that doesn't bother me none, and he continues to chase after him, and I just thought that was really endearing and kind of progressive for a 90s anime and kind of that time period. So it was played up for laughs, obviously, and it didn't have actual intent behind it, but I thought it was cute. It was a cute episode, and it was way fucking better. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, because I didn't know for the first part of the series how old Lena was when we started out. When I saw her, I kind of thought that they made a joke that Lena says, like, I don't look that young. So I was under the impression that she was an adult who, didn't have a very adult body. I assumed she was an adult that didn't, puberty didn't hit her like a truck, right? I was wrong. It's revealed later on in the anime that she's like 15 years old in this season. In this season specifically, she's 15 years old. And that makes a lot of the jokes and stuff that they make at her a lot weirder, unfortunately. The fish being in love with her and, like, trying to swallow her head while kissing her is weirder now. The entire episode dedicated to the weird fucking guy that wants to marry Lena is even weirder. And I don't know. It just feels icky, man. It just feels icky throughout, and I don't like that. I don't like when an anime makes me feel icky when it's not intending to, right? So that's a problem. That's a problem already. I'll tell you what I like about this. It's got some good comedy. There are good bits in here. There is funny stuff to be found. There's a fun, once again, I like the animation style. Gori has his charms. Lena has his charms. The weird Gollum dude, who also happens to be the voice actor for Winston in Overwatch, is incredibly fun, even though his voice acting is terrible in this, which is something that I have to say. The voice acting is very, very bad in this. I was reading forum posts about this anime, and there's a lot of people that compliment the English dub, but, like, it's terrible. I don't know what people are smoking. I need the crack that y'all have gotten a hold of. The dub is terrible. This dub is so bad. Lena's the only good part of it. Everyone sounds like they're half-baked the entire time. Not a single person sounds like they're delivering their lines. Everyone sounds half awake. It's not good. Okay, the dub is very bad. It's a very bad mid-90s dub. And, like, it's mid-90s dub, so I'll forgive it. But it is very, very bad. Anyways, moving into more of the things that I didn't like. There are way too many jokes in this show that just get repeated over and over. And it's like, it's just so annoying. Like, oh, Lena's breasts are small. Oh, it's that time of the month, so she can't do magic. Oh, Gory's stupid. Oh, fucking the young bitch is a klutz and has a penchant for justice. Oh, like, we just keep doing the same joke over and over again. And this is 26 episodes, by the way. If this was a 12-episode anime and they kind of ran the same gags every episode, I'd forgive it because it's short term. It's short term. It's a 12-episode anime. I watched 12 episodes. It was done. This is 26 episodes of us repeating the same jokes constantly and having the same jokes all the time. And there's so many episodes of this that are just like filler that get us fucking nowhere, which is crazy because I've read that everyone says that this is like a pretty good adaptation of the material. And I'm going to, this is where I come out and say that just because something directly adapts something does not mean that something's going to be good. Sometimes it's good to cut stuff. Sometimes it's good to remove stuff, right? Especially in this 26 episode anime that loses its gusto halfway through. I'm telling you, as much as I enjoyed the beginning of the show, by the time I got to episode 14 or 15, I was getting sick of it, man. And let me tell you, the final 8 or 9 episodes were the biggest drag. Particularly the final 3. Oh my god. We were dragging our feet by episode 17. But man, we have firmly planted our feet inside of the ground and encased them in concrete with the final couple of 24, 25, and 26. Those 3 episodes are all spent on the same fight where each of the episodes until the last one is spent with everyone just standing around going, oh my god, the evil guy's so powerful. And he's like, I'm the evil guy and I'm so powerful. And he warms up to doing all this stuff. But then the episode ends and we start the next episode and they do it again. And we're still in the same fight. We've been in the same fight for an hour now. We've been in the same fight for a fucking hour. And I need this shit to end, man. I cannot tell you how relieved I was when this show was finally over. Which, again, I'm super disappointed because I really liked the show at the start. I really enjoyed the show at the start. And I was willing to forgive some of what I feel were narrative mistakes. For example, in the beginning, they have 2 other party members that join them. They kind of start off as low-key villains, but then they're like, actually, I'm going to help you. And then they get fucking killed, and we never address it again. They just die, and Lena and Gori are like, oh, fucking well. And they just move on from that. I'm like, shouldn't 2 party members dying a death to our villain be a little bit more devastating? But no, they don't give a fuck. They don't ever mention those guys again. I don't even know what their names are. Because they're so far back in the show. I don't remember what their names are, but they fucking died. Yeah. and there are weird fan servicey bits in this show. They're not super abundant. They do rear their ugly head sometimes. And I'm just not a huge fan of that kind of thing. It doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't get my goat. You know, I don't enjoy it. And yeah, I wish that we had condensed this anime down. I wish it was shorter. I wish that we had invented some new jokes. If we were going to be a 26 episode anime, I wish that we would add in some new jokes over time. Like the 2 episodes that were kind of thematic, like the marriage one, as much as I hate the concept here, it is executed well. It is a nice divergence from the main story. Same thing with Gory, like cross-dressing for an episode. It's a nice diversion, but they don't do that often. It usually just turns into like monster of the week. We're fighting this now. Here's a little side tangent. Us being like, oh, Gory's dumb. Lena's flat-chested. Like, we're doing the same joke constantly forever. And I saw that there's like 5 seasons of this show, and that it's ran until like 2009. I don't know if I'm going to continue this one. This might be I finished this first season. I did it. I'm happy about it. It's over for me. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm going to keep on with this one. You let me know. Does Slayers get better? Does it get better than this? Because if it gets better than this, I may be willing to stick it out. But I'm not willing to sit through another season like this one. If the next season is anything like this season, or any seasons after this one, I don't want to sit through this again. Which is a shame, because once again, I was really enjoying the show at the beginning, but it just loses me halfway through, and I feel like I'm bullshitting, fucking around, wasting my own time watching this show, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. It bummed me out. I wish it was better. You know, let me know what your opinion is of Slayers. Let me know what your opinion is of Senyu, okay? You got a real staunch recommendation. Like, I really like Senyu. I really think you should check it out. And on the other hand, I'm saying you could probably skip Slayers. I think I deadass think this is, as much as there are aspects of it that I enjoy early in the show, there is way too much baggage later on for me to justify telling anyone to watch this show. So give it a look if you want to. I'm telling you to skip it. I'm telling you to watch a different fantasy anime. Watch Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. Watch Sentenced to Be a Hero. Honestly, you can go watch Hell's Paradise. I don't even like Hell's Paradise, but Hell's Paradise is better than Slayers. All right, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I don't even like Hell's Paradise, but I'd recommend it over this show because, man, I was so disappointed by the end of this show, and I'm still disappointed. So, yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Anime Sub. I am Tyler. I want to let you guys know, once we hit the 10th episode of this show, I'm going to take a little break to kind of casually watch anime, watch a couple different shows, watch some movies and stuff. We will be ending Season 1 of Anime Sub at Episode 10. So look forward to Episode 10. Look forward to the next episode of Anime Sub. Let me know what you're watching. You let me know what you think of Slayers, what you think of Senyu. I want to know what your thoughts are. And I will see you all in the next episode of Anime Sub. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.